Hello everyone, this is your English teacher Ruba Maali again. In today's lesson we're going to write. We're going to write today. So please look at page 84 in your practice book. Page 84 in your practice book. And here 85, the other page. This is the page that we will copy all our answer on. Good. Now, just to remind you, you're going to write a short play. And when we say play, I mean that there should be scenes. Okay, to remember what scene means, what a scene means, let me just remind you of the reading text we have taken at the beginning of unit number 10, Anwar and Ashraf. Actually, this was a play. This was a play. So, and it's a play that has a scene or scenes, multiple scenes, with characters. Do you remember the narrator who tells the story about the main characters? The main characters were Anwar, Ashraf, and we have the stranger here. Do you remember them? They were fighting and quarreling over a loaf of a bread. Do you remember the loaf of a bread? The fresh loaf of a bread that they were quarreling about. They were really hungry. Anwar and Ashraf were really hungry and hot, and they were traveling. So one of them saw it first and didn't want to share it with the other. This what the story was about. Remember that in a play, you include the main character name. You have a colon, 2 dots. Let me show you. The main character name, 2 dots, or let's say it's a colon. We call it a colon. Sometimes you include between parentheses or between brackets, you include what the character is doing or how the character is feeling excitedly. Pulling Ashraf's sleeves, this is something the characters do in the play. After the parentheses, if you want to include them, you can include what, and you can write what they say. Okay. Now, what I want you to write about is, again, we need to write a short play, okay, where two people in that play, we have two people find something. Those two people find something together they would both like to have. Those two people found something and both of them want to have that something. So one character wants to share, one of the two characters wants to give, wants to share with the other character. The other character doesn't want. So one of them is selfish. Do you remember the word selfish from the unit? And the other one is generous. He wants to share, or she, it could be she, whatever you want. The first character persuades the second character to share, persuades, makes someone change their mind. When I persuade you, I change your mind about something. Do you remember the word persuade from the unit of advertisements? The unit of adverts. Do you remember that? Yeah. Okay, now you remember it. Both characters are happy now. Okay? So this is your plot. This is how the events will go in your story. Again, one character is generous and wants to share. The other character is selfish and doesn't want to share. The first character, the generous one, the one who wants to share, persuades the selfish one to share. Both now are happy. This is what? This is the end. Here. This is the end. Good. Now, step number 2. Think about these things and make notes. Making notes is something very important before writing. Before we write here, before we write on this page, okay, everything we have, before that, we need to plan for it. We need to take some notes. So here, who are the two characters who are quarreling? And remember, quarreling means fighting. They fight over something. Character number one, write the name you want, whatever you want. It could be Hamza and Sanad. It could be Zaid and Abdullah al-Fayez. It could be whatever you want. Okay? It could be Rital and Jude. Who knows? Okay. What are they quarreling about? Tell me what. Is it a loaf of a bread like Ashraf and Anwar? Is it a loaf of a bread? Is it a football? Is it a computer game? Is it a necklace for girls? What is it? Okay, I want to see your own ideas. Now, how does the first character persuade, okay, the other one to share? How do they here? Do you remember this point? This point is actually should be in details here, should be explained here. This point, when the first character persuades the second character to share, I want you to explain this right here. How do they change their minds and in the end they stop quarreling, they stop the fighting and they decide to share? What do you think? Okay, so here, after you finish, okay, you need to send me the everything you do as a picture on Google Classroom, as we all know. Now here, don't forget that you need to put a title for your play. And for example, if we are taking, for example, this. Do you remember this title? Do you remember the title of our play in Unit 10? Anwar and Ashraf. It could be another title. For example, Ahmed, مثلا. It's all right. It could be Ahmed and Sanad. So this is your title. Remember, capitalize the first letter of every word in titles. This is your title. Now you move on. Remember that there should be a narrator, okay? Include a narrator. There should be a narrator tells the story. It says, for example, Ahmed and Sanad were playing in the backyard of Sanad's house and they found a football, and that football color was green, for example. And Sanad says, Sanad starts to quarrel and fight with Ahmed because he saw it first. Ahmed said that we can both share it and we can both play with it. What do you think of that story? I don't know. It's up to you if you like it. So we have the narrator with the colon, don't forget. We have Ahmed, of course. Like this, Ahmed has to say something to Sanad. This is only an example, okay? Remember, I could put here Diala, I could put here Taj, who knows? All right, so you complete everything until you reach the end of the story and tell me how it ends. Tell me how Ahmed persuades Sanad to play together with the same ball. You can do that. Now, try to think about a good idea. Try to think about something you have quarreled about before with your friend, with your with one member of your family, whoever you want. And I will be waiting for your answers. Thank you so much for listening.